It's me, your Uncle Cooper, and this is a Cooper tire. Great tire. Now, it's not gonna cook you a pot roast, but it will stop when you hit the brakes. And these truck tires can stop on average 10 feet shorter than other tires on a wet road. See, the trick is in the grip, and these tires grip like my handshake. Look, I'm your uncle. I love you. I want you to stop when you need to. Doesn't matter if it's for a red light or a duckling. So go with the Coopers. Cooper! And never start something you can't stop.
With over 40 years in business, High Tide Boat Lifts is committed to elevating your craft. Whether you own a personal watercraft or a large yacht, we can design and create the perfect lift for your needs. At High Tide Boat Lifts, we understand that you've worked hard to get to a successful place in life. We'll ensure you have a hassle-free experience, maximizing the time you spend on your boat with family and friends, and supporting your dreams out on the open water.
Karting and motorsport enthusiasts, Lucas Oil School of Racing is America's #1 Formula Car race school. Enjoy modern paddle shifters, pit speed limiter, and onboard video along with integrated data systems. Get started today with our 2-day basic or advanced course. Lucas Oil School of Racing is the official school of the road to Indy. We can also qualify you for your SCCA license. Get started today by visiting us at www.lucasraceschool.com.
Just like in the Cooper Tires USF 2000 Championship, several drivers at Indy Pro 2000 made their first laps in competition on an oval this past weekend. The 90-lap affair began with D-Force Racing's Manuel Suleiman bringing the field of 14 to the green flag as the sun slowly set below the front stretch grandstands. Suleiman was the class of the field early, while Swanson, who put his Legacy Autosport number 20 second on the grid in qualifying, found himself in a wildly entertaining battle in the opening 10 laps with Mid-Ohio race winner Stingray Robb of Juncos Racing. Swanson stayed at home and eventually outlasted Robb to hold on to second place. The turning point of the 90-lap race came on lap 40, when Suleiman, who was already receiving big pressure from Swanson right behind him, caught the slower lap traffic of Antoine Comeau rolling through turns 3 and 4. Swanson saw his opportunity, and it was right between Suleiman's right rear and the outside retaining wall in turn 4. The oval track expert kept his foot in the gas and executed a truly impressive move as he overtook the lead from Suleiman coming to the line. From that point on, it was all Swanson all night long. The Legacy Autosport number 20 scored the win 5.6 seconds clear of second place Hunter McElray, who made his own night an impressive one as he came from 6th on the starting grid to finish 2nd for Pabst Racing. Pole sitter and early race leader Manuel Suleiman completed the 6th race of the season in 3rd place. Welcome to Road to Indy TV. Download the app to watch live and get access to exclusive content all season.
Ladies and gentlemen, to live coverage of the Indy Pro 2000 Oval Challenge at St. Louis, presented by Cooper Tires. You're watching live on Road to Indy TV, presented by Cooper Tires, and we're here at the beautiful Worldwide Technology Raceway, where we're going to kick off a busy day of racing with the second round, the second oval race of 2020 for drivers on the second step of the Road to Indy, Indy Pro 2000. Now, this race here at Worldwide Technology Raceway, the entire weekend wouldn't be possible without this gentleman right here, John Bonarito. You have been a part of this race. You've been a part of this track for a while now. And we've got the second run of the Road to Indy, which leads drivers up to the NTT Indy Coaster. You're here. You're down the grid. This race means something to you, doesn't it? Hey, let me tell you, this is a vital, critical second step to the Indy Series. Without this race, I'm telling you that these young drivers cannot get the experience that they need. Think about it. When they're driving 200 miles an hour, they need to make that step up, that walk. Welcome to this really bummer annual double header. It's a mega weekend, 6 races running over 26 hours here at beautiful Worldwide Technology Raceway. We are so glad Indy 2000 is part of this, the Pro 2000 series. I want to thank personally the Anderson family for making this happen. You got to think about it. There's some difficult times right now, and they continue to invest in this organization and make what it is today. Dan, his daughter, Michelle, great partnership here. And I'll tell you what, guys, what you do this year with the series, guy that wins a championship here, like, that's a great thing. True louder in the Light Series. And I'll tell you what, Don, this race, you talk about it, there's a lot going on. Indy Cup, we got ARCA, we got NASCAR Cup, we got Indy Pro 2000 Vintage Indy is here. There's a lot going on. You're a lover of motorsport. That's why you're down here doing all of it, isn't it? Hey, you know what? Motorsport is a passion. Hey, but you got to remember, our community, we're the number one side on the group in the Midwest region, and we are honored by that. Honored. With that honor comes responsibility, and that's to give back to the community. There is not a better way to showcase our awesome city than the Bomber weekend right here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Make sure if you're sitting at home and you can't be here at the stand, make sure you're tuning in. Right? And if you can't be here this year, we're going to see you next year. Don't you worry. Well, I feel bad for the people that can't be here this weekend. We just got shooting over in turns 1 and 2. This facility looks amazing. I know that's in big part thanks to you, your team, and everyone at Bombarito Automotive Group. On behalf of all these drivers, the crew, and all of us at Road and Indy TV, man, thanks for investing in this series and this racing. Hey, I'm honored and I'm proud to be here. And thanks again to the Anderson family for doing what they do. This Road to Indy is absolutely one of the bright shining stars in the IndyCar series. All right, John Bonarito, my man, thanks so much for being here. We appreciate everything you and the Bonarito Automotive Group do for Road to Indy and oval track racing here in North America. We're getting ready to go with Indy Pro 2000 Oval Challenge at St. Louis, presented by Cooper Tires. John Bonarito, we just got a chance to talk to him. It is seriously going to be a great week in racing. He said 26 hours of on-track activity planned into 3 days for Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway. Yeah, we got Devlin D. Francesco. He rolls in here as the championship point leader, and he went out very lofty qualifying last night. He laid down mega 2 laps. Devlin, it's been a whirlwind 2 weeks for racing on the oval at Lucas Oil Raceway to come here to the bigger, faster, longer oval. How do you feel this number 17 can do once we throw the green flag?
I think we did very strong and very strong. I think this one we tried a couple of things, and I think we're going to race that.
All right, well, Devlin, congratulations on the call. We will hopefully see you in victory lane when this one is over. Again, Andretti Auto Steinbrenner Racing, playing this number 17 on the inside of row number 1 for the pole position. Arden Petshaw will roll up in the second position. He and Yukos Racing teammates Stingray Love start second and third. Arden Petshaw rolling off second, Stingray Love third. Daniel Frost is fourth as we see a long line of Indy Pro 2000 cars here ready to go. It is going to be the second race on the oval here in 2020 for drivers in Indy Pro 2000. Remember, Arden Petshaw picked up the win at Road America back at the season opener, really, at Road America back in late June. Stingray Rob had a victory in Mid-Ohio Strip. Of course, Ricky Yukos and his team of mechanics have been absolutely burning the candle at both ends to get these Indy Pro 2000 cars and their drivers ready. So it's been a very busy middle stretch of this 2020 season. Right over there, you can see the Andretti Auto Sport timing stand. Got Andretti Auto Sport owner Michael Andretti hanging out, watching Devlin D. Francesco's dad. And Andretti Auto Sport with Steinbrenner Racing getting the pole position in qualifying here for the second oval race of 2020. Folks, we're ready to go racing. This is going to be a lot of fun. We'll stay tuned in to Road to Indy TV for live coverage of every lap coming up here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. I got to send a happy birthday shout out to my man Isaac Kirk back in Colorado. Man, happy birthday. Wish you were here watching some great racing. Maybe you'll stay tuned in. Whatever you do, have a great day with God that you're watching. But anyway, Indy Pro 2000, the Oval Challenge at St. Louis, presented by Cooper Tires, is getting ready to go. It's going to be a long and busy and most importantly exciting weekend of racing here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Folks, don't go anywhere. Stay tuned in right here to Road to Indy TV presented by Cooper Tires, because coming up next, it's Indy Pro 2000 on the Oval Gateway, round 7 of the 2020 championship here at St. Louis.
It's me, your Uncle Cooper, and this is a Cooper tire. Great tire. Now, it's not going to cook you a pot roast, but it will stop when you hit the brakes. And these truck tires can stop on average 10 feet shorter than other tires on a wet road. See, the trick is in the grip, and these tires grip like my handshake. Look, I'm your uncle. I love you. I want you to stop when you need to. Doesn't matter if it's for a red light or a duckling. So go with the Coopers. Cooper! And never start something you can't stop.
With over 40 years in business, High Tide Boat Lifts is committed to elevating your craft. Whether you own a personal watercraft or a large yacht, we can design and create the perfect lift for your needs. At High Tide Boat Lifts, we understand that you've worked hard to get to a successful place in life. We'll ensure you have a hassle-free experience, maximizing the time you spend on your boat with family and friends, and supporting your dreams out on the open water.
Karting and motorsport enthusiasts, Lucas Oil School of Racing is America's #1 Formula Car race school. Enjoy modern paddle shifters, pit speed limiter, and onboard video along with integrated data systems. Get started today with our 2-day basic or advanced course. Lucas Oil School of Racing is the official school of the Road to Indy. We can also qualify you for your SCCA license. Get started today by visiting us at www.lucasraceschool.com.
Not quite the run he was looking for, coming off that race win in Brownsburg, but nonetheless, we'll look forward to moving up through the order. Starting alongside him in the number 51 machine in the Abel Motorsports number 51, starting 13th position. As I said, it'll be Jacob Abel out of Louisville, Kentucky. We'll move to row number 6 on the outside from Chicago, Illinois. Hometown, actually, Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Antoine Cameau in the number 3 for Turn 3 Motorsports, starting in the 12th spot outside of row 6. And on the inside, podium finisher here last year at Worldwide Technology Raceway out of Texas for D-Force Racing. The number 7 is Corey Enders. Moving now to the top 10. First 5 rows on the outside. Another driver who battled for a top 3 last year, but ended up actually in the turn 3 wall after contact late in the race. From Mexico, it's Moises de la Vera in the number 6 for D-Force Racing. He'll start 10th, alongside the driver from Homer Glen, Illinois for Pabst Racing. Rookie driver here in the Indy Pro 2000 category in 2020. Colin Kaminsky in the number 19, starting in the 9th position. Just about 1 minute away from getting things fired up here. Let's have a look now at row number 4 on the outside. Another one of the drivers for Pabst Racing from Australia. It's Hunter McElroy, the rookie in the number 18. Great second place run in the Freedom 90 just a week ago at Lucas Oil Raceway. He'll start 8th position. And on the inside, Parker Thompson from Red Deer, Alberta, Canada for D-Force Racing in the number 9. 3 rows of drivers still to announce here for you, but we are very close to hitting the mark on firing things up here. Again, 15 drivers are getting set to go. Let's look at row number 3 right now. We have time. Manuel Suleiman on the pole for the Freedom 90 last week. Finished third for D-Force Racing, the Mexican driver starting 8th. Alongside him, reigning Cooper Tires USF 2000 champion Braden Eves in the scholarship colors at number 1 as well. The silver and the blue, Braden Eves starting 5th for Exclusive Autosport. 4 more drivers set to go, but it is almost time to get these drivers to fire things up. Ladies and gentlemen, in fact, 15 drivers ready to press the buttons and light the fires on pit lane. Drivers, start your engines. And with that, engines come to life down on pit lane. Let's have a look at the final 2 rows. One driver most definitely to watch, number 68, Daniel Frost, a winner of the opening round of the series at Road America. Daniel in the 68 machine for Turn 3 Motorsports from Singapore put in a tremendous qualifying effort. Actually was the fastest on the warm-up lap, had a smoking fast first lap around the 2-lap session. Even with a bobble in turn 1 and 2 on that opening lap, he still set a quick time, but had a major moment coming through turn 1 to start lap number 2, and it dropped him down to 139.658 miles per hour. Still able to turn 137 miles an hour, even with the bobble. I didn't see it from my vantage point up here in the PA booth, but people down on pit lane said it was a moment, and it was an actual miracle. Great effort of driving to not put it in the wall. That's how bad it was. Inside of that row, Stingray Robb from Payette, Idaho, the young American driver for Juncos Racing in the number 2. Stingray, of course, winning his first career in Indy Pro 2000, the Road to Indy victory at Mid-Ohio a couple of weeks ago. Looking really strong here right now, I'll tell you. We'll see what he's able to do here today. Now on the front row, though, with 15 drivers in the field, Artem Petrov, 2 times a winner from St. Petersburg, Russia. His second year in the series, Artem Petrov for Juncos Racing. We'll start on the outside of row 1 in number 42. And the driver that will lead them to the line coming out of turn number 4 to begin this 55-lap race for the Indy Pro 2000 category. It will be Devlin DiFrancesco, the Italian-Canadian driver now living in Miami, Florida. Worked his way through the European karting ranks and the European open wheel formula car programs as well. Finally said, you know what? I want to come back home. I want to come back to North America. I want to try to get into the IndyCar program. Already destined to be with Andretti Autosport next year when we refire the Indy Lights Series. Devlin DiFrancesco in the 17-year point leader coming in, a rookie driver as well. Interesting that the race at Lucas Oil Raceway just last week, his first time on the oval. He did 1 day of test and then was able to step up and grab a 4th place finish there. He is the point leader coming in by 7 markers, 8 markers now over Stingray Robb. Artem Petrov and Daniel Frost, 4th and 3rd respectively. Braden Eves rounding out the top 5 in the points. Field set, folks. We're getting ready to go racing here with 55 laps to kick things off for you. This is the Indy Pro 2000 category. This is where Oliver Askew was. Pato O'Ward, Renus VK. That's where these drivers were just a couple of years ago. In fact, Renus VK, a winner of this very race 2 years ago here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Opening lap was always sketchy. These Cooper tires are cold. The drivers now, of course, in race trim. They had a practice session earlier today to dial things in. It is time to go racing with the Road to Indy here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Out of the corner, and we are green, green, green. Good start there for the 17 of DiFrancesco as the Juncos Racing drivers go side by side. We'll go into turn 1 for the first time. Couple drivers up to the high groove already. We'll see if that starts to work. Looking for Cody Swanson to get at it early here as well. DiFrancesco goes to P1. The Juncos cars, those green and white machines sliding in 2nd and 3rd. Looks to be like potentially one of the... Pick up, that's Daniel Frost. He's going to go to the top side. Frost goes to the top side around Stingray Robb. Daniel Frost to the top part of the racetrack. Down to the bottom comes Braden Eves. They're going to try to go 3 wide as well. The number 8, Manuel Suleiman, coming in there on the gearbox. He'll look to the inside. So Daniel Frost shows his hand early, using the top side of the racetrack to go around Stingray Robb. DiFrancesco out front by about 4 or 5 car lengths. They come out of 3 and 4. Artem Petrov now into 2nd. Frost runs in 3rd. 4th position is Stingray Robb. 5th is Manuel Suleiman. 6th, Braden Eves. Now, the key here is who holds on to the tires early. This is a 55-lap race. If you go hard early, you may not have the rubber. You may not have the grip you need at the end. And we'll watch the drivers work their way out of turn 4 once again. Lap times going down. DeFrancesco early. Everyone running clean and green so far. We'll pick up some more of the battles further back in the pack as well. Number 7, that's Corey Enders. He's making a move here on Hunter McElroy. Enders looking to the bottom of the racetrack. Can't quite make it stick. They're side by side. Enders with some good forward bite coming out of turn number 2. He'll move McElroy back another spot. Hunter McElroy, a really good run midway through the Freedom 90 a week ago at Lucas Oil Raceway. He took care of those tires and was an absolute rocket in the last part of that race. Was able to work his way to second. Just didn't have enough laps to reel in Cody Swanson. But nonetheless, falling back a little bit here as Corey Enders, third last year, starting to pick things back up. Swanson closing up here as well on Colin Kaminsky. That would be the battle now for 13th spot. Up front, Artem Petrov has not let DeFrancesco get away at all. In fact, it's probably about 6 car lengths as they come through 3 and 4. Everybody keeping the car on the bottom part of the racetrack at this point. Drivers having to deal with a bit of aero wash here. But again, what's the car going to be like in the long run? A lot of these drivers settling in, not wanting to get too aggressive too early, knowing that you take care of the tires, you're going to be strong. There's Stingray Rob closing back up here on Daniel Frost. Frost had that big moment, as we said, coming down into turn number 1. Just left the turn in a little too late. Big run here for Stingray Rob. He tucks to the bottom of the racetrack, side by side through 3 and 4. Stingray to the bottom. Daniel Frost on the top. Stingray gets forward bite coming out of the corner. Book it. He's through. Now, but it's a big run on the outside for Daniel Frost. Rob just wants to have the inside line. Braden Eves going to the inside as well. Eves to the bottom of Suleiman. Suleiman trying to pinch down on him. Couple of passes there in sync. Stingray Rob by Daniel Frost. Frost is going to come back the inside. Here comes the draft to work, folks. A look at Braden Eves taking full advantage of those 2 drivers going side by side again. Oh, a little aero wash there. You can see Frost backed out of it a bit. Oh, he went deep into turn 3. Braden Eves now going to work. He's the man on the move. Braden Eves in the exclusive Autosports machine. He's looking to the inside now of Daniel Frost. Braden Eves, another good run. Frost having some trouble up on the high side. He's going to lose a spot to Manuel Suleiman. So right now, Daniel Frost having trouble. Braden Eves moving forward. Frost going backwards. Daniel Frost comes into this event third in the points. Win to start the season off at Road America. Finished third in the second one. Bounced back at Mid-Ohio with a 2nd and 8th and an 11th. That was the damaging run. Contact in the final race put Frost down to 11th spot. Look for the fight further back as well. Parker Thompson, he's standing things up. Parker Thompson making a move down to the inside of his teammate, Manuel Suleiman. See if Thompson can complete it coming into 3. Not quite enough and backs out of it. Artem Petrov slowly but surely closing up on Devlin DeFrancesco, the lead. We're talking 2 or 3 car lengths now. Drivers working their way through. Turn number 3 and 4. Down the back, or they're down 1 and 2. Here comes the shot down the back straightaway. DeFrancesco's lead about 4 or 5 car lengths as he works his way back onto the front chute, as we said. One of the drivers on the move there was Braden Eves. Let's see what happens with he and Suleiman right now as they work their way again down the front straight. We'll watch lap times too. That'll be key as drivers start to turn their best laps. That's the best one there for Parker Thompson. A 31.998. It's almost as quick as the leader there for Parker Thompson right now, running in the 7th position. 11 laps down of a scheduled 55. Early on in this one, and this is the key, drivers have to be smart. When you really start to attack and really push these tires early to get a spot here or a spot there, or even go side by side, and you're not able to finish the pass, you really start working on those Coopers, and this track will have a little bit of tire drag by the end. All those Coopers are very consistent, usually through the end of a run. A track like this, when you're on the bottom side of the racetrack, not wanting to give up. Makes things a little tougher. Parker Thompson has finally been able to get by this at the line. Manuel Suleiman to move Parker Thompson up to the 6th spot. Manuel Suleiman back to 7th. And Moises De Oliveira 8th. Artem Petrov has shown great patience. Not sure that patience was really, I think, his strong point last year. He had a couple of issues in opening lap, opening corner contact. But he settled in here to the road to Indy. He's been impressive. Artem Petrov in that number 42. 2 times a winner already this year. Scored a victory at Road America in round number 2. Back to the rain here before, but not that short oval at Lucas Oil Raceway. Really different circuit, obviously, a different discipline. 5/8 of a mile versus a mile and a quarter. This track much faster. A little time to breathe in the straightaways, though, and a little bit, and the gear changes. We said we're down to 6th, down to 5th, coming into turn 1. Back on the throttle as they work their way out of turn number 2, up to 6th again. There's Charles Finelli in the Fat Boy Racing Machine. Leaders starting to work their way around on Finelli here. 15 laps down. Look at that group there. One that's, I want to say, Frost. That's actually the lead group. The first we saw, the top 4 drivers in that lead group. Less than a second now. Braden Eves. Here's a big run for Braden Eves coming down the back straightaway. Braden's going to look to the inside of Stingray Robb. He'll put that car to the bottom. Side by side, Stingray Robb right there. On the top side, they got some slow traffic at Charles Finelli as well. Look at Artem Petrov going to work on him. Stingray's going to get a big move down the straightaway here. Look at this. They're side by side. Eves to the inside, into turn number 1. Does he make the pass stick? They're still side by side. Stingray Robb on the top side. Great racing here at Indy Pro 2000. Sides of Junco's racing teammates side by side. Stingray Robb trying to get past Frost as well. Move here now. I got a feeling if he's able to get by these guys, he may be able to go chase down DeFrancesco, but this is really early. Take care of your tires. I know that Eves threw a haymaker there at Stingray Robb trying to get by, but wasn't quite able to make it stick. This inter-team battle between Thompson and Suleiman's pretty aggressive as well. Braden Eves now settling in. Back to P4. Stingray Robb settling in again right behind the gearbox of his teammate Petrov. But here comes another big run potentially for Braden Eves. Got a good run out of 4. He's close enough to have another look to the inside. Indeed, back to the bottom of the racetrack. You want to say that Eves just trying to pressure Stingray into a minor mistake. You just don't quite turn it by just over a second. Not even 1.1 across the line. 21 laps down. Down the back straightaway. That's the top 4 gap now. I want to say almost a second and a half for Daniel Frost, who runs P5. DeFrancesco is the point leader and was coming into the weekend, qualified on pole. It was 7 points when he got here. Add the bonus point for qualifying on the pole. Looking good right now. Leading the most laps, I believe, another bonus point. He's getting that done. He's actually almost to the point where he'll have that handled. "28 laps will put him at leading the most. Just past the halfway point as he has led from the get-go. DeFrancesco quick off the jump, leveraging that pole position run in qualifying. Kind of expect a little more from Daniel Frost here today based on the pace that he showed in qualifying, but the race car itself just not able to get the lap time down. Four-tenths of a second gap between DeFrancesco and Petrov. Petrov actually quicker last time by about a tenth of a mile per hour. Swanson, the bottom part of the racetrack there, a little aero wash. Braden Eves just turned fast lap, a 142.743 mile an hour. I talked about having to have a car that was going to be good in the second half of the race. Braden Eves just turned the... In terms of the championship, Braden Eves really needs to get by both Rob and Petrov. They're both in front of him in the championship now, and even if he's not able to get DeFrancesco, at the very least he's able to get by both these Juncos racing drivers. He would get some pace out of them. But they're side by side coming out, and Braden's going to go to the bottom. How about 3 wide coming across start finish? 3 wide down the back straight. Oh, it's Eves to the inside. Again to the top side of 3 and 4. Stingray Rob doing everything he can to get by Petrov. Leaders coming up on more traffic. Stingray Rob now to the inside. I think he's going to make this one stick. Indeed he does. Stingray Rob goes to P2 now. He'll go to see if he can't reel in DeFrancesco because his teammate wasn't getting the job done. Braden Eves quickly up on the throttle trying to close up. He'll look to the inside, thinking about it. More lapped cars they've got to go by. I believe Colin Kaminsky next. I expect Colin to get down to the inside of the racetrack coming on and out of turn 4. No, he's to the high side. DeFrancesco goes to the bottom. That's allowed Stingray Rob to close a little bit. Kaminsky really holding up Stingray Rob. He got checked mid-corner coming through 2. Artem Petrov is trying to stick it in there. This is going to end ugly. They're going to be 2 wide. Petrov able to go through the hole. Stingray Rob checked up trying to get by Kaminsky, and Artem Petrov threaded the needle. He goes back to P2. Well, if there was any question whether or not Petrov has the aggression and no fear attitude, that's gone. Braden Eves back down to the inside. Can't quite get by Stingray Rob. As I said, Colin Kaminsky was the bottom of the racetrack coming through 2. Rob with a big head of steam. Couldn't make the pass. Checked them both up. Rob, of course, with no forward bite coming off the corner. Didn't have the momentum. And Artem just came across. And what do? You can't make a big block move on your teammate like that when he's essentially side by side with you. We're making things interesting here for sure. There's DeFrancesco, Petrov, Rob, and then Braden Eves. They've been able to get by Cody Swanson, who now runs 12th. Devlin DeFrancesco has benefited greatly with the battle behind him between the 2 Juncos Racing teammates and Braden Eves as well from Exclusive Autosport. Petrov doesn't seem to have the pace he needs to reel in the leaders, but he's got just enough to hold off the guys behind him. And that most definitely playing to the favor of the Andretti Steinbrenner Autosport driver, Devlin DeFrancesco. 31 laps down. 24 to go. DeFrancesco closing back up here on Charles Finelli. Here's a move for Eves again to the inside. He's side by side still. This time Eves to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to get a good run at turn number 2. Does he have enough forward bite coming out in the momentum? They'll be side by side coming down. Eves on the inside. A little more pace on the outside for Stingray Rob, but Eves still on the bottom. And he just can't quite get it done coming into 3. Eves is doing everything he can, but you got to worry about the longevity of those tires. He's been on the bottom of the racetrack so much trying to get by. That said, Artem Petrov now starting to close up on DeFrancesco. Hard to believe that he could have been saving tires, the pressure he had from behind, but he's now closed up here on the leader. It's 4 car lengths as they come through turn number 3 and 4. Stingray Rob and Braden Eves trying to line up again. Only other battle further back, it's still Manuel Suleiman less than a second behind his teammate. Corey Enders right there with Jacob Abel as well. Those are 2 of the best battles on the racetracks in terms of drivers running that close together. We'll look at the lap times again for speed. Last time by 141.2 mile an hour for DeFrancesco, 141.7. This time by DeFrancesco, 1.4 mile per hour quicker. He had a really good run through some lap traffic and has had a really good lap laying down here. DeFrancesco pulls it out now to about 8 or 10 car lengths again. Top 4 drivers, though, still separated by just 1.4 seconds. $20 laps to go. Make it 19 as they cross the line. Identical speeds for DeFrancesco and Petrov last time by. Let's see if Braden Eves can mount another challenge here. He's trying to get by Stingray Rob for P3. Both Artem Petrov and Braden Eves will most definitely make up time on Daniel Frost as they run on the racetrack here. A couple of points for sure. Frost by himself P5, but we're a long way to the end of this one still. Well, you may see a lot more racing. See who held on to the tires here. Just outside the top 10, Hunter McElroy runs 11th, Cody Swanson in 12th, Colin Kaminsky 13th. Charles Finelli 14th, and I didn't see, but Moises de Oliveira out early. In fact, he's down into pit lane, so having run so good last year in the top 3, looking for a podium, and then really strong overall top 10 pace here today as well. Moises de Oliveira's day is done. For those of you tuning in on the Road to Indy TV app coverage, it's a warm one here in Madison, about 84 degrees trackside. Pretty humid as well, up in the high 50s right now. Humidity was a lot more earlier in the day. You can see by the flags as well, up on top of the grandstands, we have a pretty solid wind coming in. As they come into turn 1, it's actually coming from the right and a little bit from the rear as well. That'll upset the car a little bit as they turn into 1. Almost in their face as they work their way down the back straightaway. Here's another move for Braden Eves to the inside. He continues to try to make it stick. He's down to the bottom again. Just can't quite get it. Tucks back up in. Big draft this time down the straightaway. Eves all over Stingray. And it's all about trying to push him into one tiny mistake. Like I said, just turning in a fraction of a second too late and have the car not be where it needs to be on the bottom of the track. That's all it takes, especially at this level of competition. So many good young drivers here in Indy Pro. Eves back to the bottom again, going into 3. This time, side by side. You want to let the car wash up a little bit to see if you can't get the driver up top to flinch, but you don't want to risk it. Again, side by side coming down here. What kind of a run does Eves have? He's got to give it up again. Stingray doing a great job holding that top line. Top line's easier on the tires. DeFrancesco now holding that 0.6 of a second lead over Petrov. Daniel Frost all by himself in 5th spot, as is Parker Thompson 6th, Manuel Suleiman in 7th. 8th, Antoine Camo for Turn 3 Motorsports. 9th is Jacob Abel, and 10th is Corey Enders. No other battles on the racetrack. Enders still just over half a second back, pretty much the same gap between the leaders as they are from Camo back to, or rather Abel back to Enders for P9. Another side-by-side run. Every time coming out of turn 1 and 2, Braden Eves able to get to the bottom of the racetrack. Just can't quite make it stick. Like I said, all he needs is that one clear corner. I think he's set out for sale to reel in Artem Petrov, but it's so hard to pass here. Track position key. Think about that. DeFrancesco, Petrov, Rob, exactly how they started the race, exactly how they run. The only move was Eves getting a good jump on Frost early and Frost having that issue. This is how they essentially started 1, 2, 3. You put Eves into P4, but I think he's the driver on the move. He's just got to get some open racetrack. And making that pass stick is going to be tough because Stingray Rob has looked really good in that second groove. NTT IndyCar Series action coming up after this Indy Pro 2000 category. And again, drivers here you see in this lead battle all looking to see if they can't follow in the footsteps of Oliver Askew and Rinus VeeKay. Of course, Rinus, a former winner here, as we said a couple of years ago, former Indy Pro 2000 champion, as was Pato O'Ward. Actually, Pato was a runner-up to Aaron Telitz in his year, but won, I think, 6 or 7 races. Pato winning the battle over he and Colton Herta. Seen so many drivers come strongly out of this Indy Pro 2000 category into Indy Lights. And Indy Lights into IndyCar. 10 laps remaining. Just 10 to go, and the top 4 drivers running together. Braden Eves got to think about making another run here. Big run down the front straightaway, and he'll look to the inside again. Braden Eves trying to chuck it in there to see if he can't finally make it stick here on Stingray Robb. He's to the bottom. There's a little move to the top there for Robb. He had to correct. Is that going to be enough for Eves to hold it? They'll go down the back straightaway. Big run from the outside again, but Eves is down the bottom. Sooner or later, he's going to have to not give it up. He goes back to the bottom again. Stingray Robb still on the top. And Eves can't quite get it done. If you're Braden Eves, you're wondering what you have to do to get by. And Devlin DeFrancesco taking full advantage of it all. You guys race behind me. I'm good. I'm not making any mistakes. I'm banging out good laps. DeFrancesco looking for his first Road to Indy victory. Second at Road America, 4th in the second race there. 7th, 2nd, and 3rd at Mid-Ohio. 4th just off the podium on the oval at Lucas Oil Raceway. Looking to get a Road to Indy victory here on the Bad Fast Oval at Worldwide Technology Raceway. More lap cars in front of him. Potential with 8 to go. Let's see if Braden Eves able to somehow use the lap car. He'll stay to the bottom of the racetrack. That's Charles Finelli again. He's going to let them go. Eves is going to chuck it back into turn 3. Eves to the bottom of the racetrack. This time he's got the bottom. Does he hold it coming out of the corner? Braden Eves going to try to roll it up a bit. His spotter tells him he's clear. Eves is through to P3. Stingray Robb's going to try to go to the bottom this time. It'll be Eves on top. Can Eves hold the top line like Stingray did to him? Indeed he does. Big run. This is going to be Eves now. A shot at trying to go after Artem Petrov. Eves taking full advantage there. Stingray Robb not close enough. He'll look down to the bottom. It'll be Eves again on the top side. This time they've changed positions on the racetrack. Eves to the top. Stingray Robb to the bottom. Eves has worked his way to P3. He's trying to see if he can't reel in Artem Petrov. I think they both are reeling in Petrov now. Again, Eves way to the top side. Not a lot of opportunity for Stingray Robb to get a feel for the bottom part of the racetrack as Eves did, as he was there for probably 40 laps. Again, Eves to the top. He's just trying to see if he can't get an open run. If he can get to the bottom and get a good run on the bottom there and get out of that corner, I think he's going to be able to get away from Stingray Robb and potentially challenge Artem. Here he is here indeed. Big run for Eves. Coming to the bottom on Petrov. Eves going for P2. Side by side. Eves with a pretty good run out of the corner. Eves trying to hold off Petrov on the outside. Again, a big run for the Russian on the top. Eves is going to try to throw it to the bottom again. Can't get it done. Now he's going to work on the next Juncos driver. Tremendous run here for Braden Eves. He's worked his way to 3rd. And can he get one more spot? I have to believe if he gets by Petrov, he could reel in DeFrancesco, but he just can't seem to get the pass done. It was so hard to get that pass done on Stingray. How are those tires? Eves has been able to at least break the gap between he and Stingray Robb. His spotter will be telling him that. You're clear from the back. Clear by 2. Clear by 4. You don't need to worry about the guy behind you. Go to work trying to find Petrov. Another big run for Eves down the straightaway. 3 laps to go. He'll go to the bottom of the racetrack again. Braden thinks about it. Not enough. Stingray Robb falling back to P4. I'll tell you, Petrov, though, closing as well. They're both closing up here on DeFrancesco with 3 to go. Check out this finish in Indy Pro 2000. Eves seen it happen. His spotter will be telling him that Petrov's closing as well. They may both be able to make a run here on DeFrancesco. 2 laps remaining in this 55-lap contest. Top 4 drivers have been incredible the entire run. Eves still trying to go to work on Petrov as that forward run is kind of stopped. He's not been able to close. Final lap, I believe. Looking around to see the white flag. It's in the hands of our starter, Aaron Likens. Drivers coming out at turn number 4. White flag gonna fly. No one close enough to make a move in the top 4 now. Eves has fallen back just a little bit. Eves gets another big run coming out of turn 2. Will he get any aero wash? A little bit. Good run coming out of the corner. Eves has got a big run. Final lap. To the bottom of the racetrack goes Petrov. Eves going to the top side of the racetrack to try to go around the high side. Eves to the high side. Can he make it stick? DeFrancesco's going to win this going away, but Braden Eves just resets fast lap. Does he get a run to the line? He's going to do it. DeFrancesco with the win. Eves to P2. What a run for Devlin DeFrancesco. Green to checker. A perfect drive for the young driver from Canada. Devlin DeFrancesco wins his first race, but Braden Eves, talk about going to work on both those Juncos Racing drivers. First able to get by Stingray Robb. Big run off of turn 2 on the final circuit. Artem Petrov blocks to the bottom of the racetrack, and Braden Eves going to the high side. Around 3 and 4. What a drive for the exclusive Autosport pilot to go into second. Fast lap of the race, the last lap of the race for Braden Eves. Wow. Margin of victory for Devlin DeFrancesco, 0.765. Less than a second at the line for DeFrancesco. Petrov just pipping, or Eves just pipping Petrov by 7/100ths of a second. Absolutely incredible run for Braden Eves. Petrov ends up 3rd. Stingray Robb 4th. Daniel Frost in the 5th spot. Parker Thompson 6th. Manuel Suleiman 7th. 8th is Antoine Comeau. 9th is Corey Anderson. 10th is Jacob Abel. In the 11th spot, Hunter McElroy. 12th, Cody Swanson. 13th, Colin Kaminsky. 14th, Charles Finelli. And 15th, Moises de Oliveira. Top 3 drivers. Should have been top 3 drivers coming down to start finish. Braden Eves ended up going all the way down to his pits. So they'll have to run Braden Eves back. There's DeFrancesco down there. Folks, he's out of the car and pumped up for sure. Big victory for Devlin DeFrancesco. As I said, very consistent throughout the early part of the season. Devlin qualified P1 and finished 2nd at Road America, followed it up with a 4th. Mid-Ohio, 7th in the opening round, 2nd and 3rd, a couple of podiums in round 4 and round 5, and then a strong run to 4th in round 6. Here in round 7, though, he finally breaks the goose egg and scores that victory. And again, those drivers starting to get out of the cars right now. Same goes for Artem Petrov, the Russian driver, who's so impressive here today in that Juncos Racing number 42. Braden Eves, of course, getting out of the car. He's actually going to be running back. You can see Braden all the way down pit lane there with his white and blue suit, running his way back up here to victory lane. Obviously, with the IndyCar bubble that we do have, we're keeping all of our Road to Indy staff and drivers on this side of the pit wall. That's the concept. Not exactly sure where we're doing our victory lane. We might just be doing it right down there. Victory lane's actually working its way over here. There you go. So victory lane is going to be actually the trailer that's coming back around. So we'll be doing that here on the start finish. Absolutely tremendous drive for Devlin DeFrancesco. Perfect from green to checker. You can't ask much more from that. A great run for him. 0.765, as I said, the margin of victory. Braden Eves, though, man, he had to go to work to first try to find a way by Stingray Robb. Was able to take advantage of, I think, one of the lap cars to dive down to the inside as Braden now comes to join the crew and everybody down here at start-finish. Then he was able to get by Petrov on the high side of the final lap. Just absolutely impressive. I think we have Tony Laporta down there on the front straightaway. Tony, can you hear me down there? All right, let's throw it down, folks. Tony Laporta down on the front straightaway. He'll handle things when Victory Lane gets around here, but Tony, down to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about that? Round 7 of the 2020 Indy Pro 2000 front stretch grandstands. What do you think about that? Make some noise for these drivers. The Indy Pro 2000 Oval Challenge at St. Louis, presented by Cooper Tires. Now in the books, round number 7 is complete. Coming off round number 6 last weekend at Lucas Oil Raceway, where these drivers took to their first oval of the 2020 season. Victory Lane is getting set up right here on the front stretch grandstands. And folks, we are glad you are here with us for a very busy and action-packed weekend of racing. John Bomarito talked to us during pre-race. Over 25 hours of on-track action from yesterday, today, through tomorrow. And that Indy Pro 2000 race definitely going to go down as one of our best races in Road to Indy competition here so far in an abbreviated 2020 season. But we sure are glad to see folks in the grandstands hanging out here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. We are setting up Victory Lane here, brought to you by Tatis, as we will prepare to celebrate and introduce you to the top 3 finishers in the 7th round of the 2020 Indy Pro 2000 Championship. As Rob explained during the race, folks, the Road to Indy made up of 3 individual steps. Drivers begin their career in the Road to Indy by competing in the Cooper Tires USF 2000 Championship. Then they move here to the Indy Pro 2000 Championship before making it all the way to the top level of the Road to Indy, the Indy Lights Championship, presented by Cooper Tires. In 2020, there is no Indy Lights, but they will be back on track bigger and better than ever in 2021. And the champion of Indy Pro 2000 at the end of this season is going to get a full season ride paid for to compete in Indy Lights in 2021. And the champion of Indy Lights each and every season moves up to the NTT IndyCar Series. As Rob talked about during the race, you'll see faces and names competing today and tomorrow in the doubleheader, like Oliver Askew, Pato O'Ward, Renus Vacay, and several others that came from right here, Indy Pro 2000, USF 2000, the Indy Lights Championship, all 3 steps on the road to Indy. Tatis Victory Lane nearly complete, being set up as a flawless green to checker. No caution flags in our last 3 oval races on the ovals. The 2 races last weekend in Indianapolis, and now here, 55 laps of clean and green racing at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. And we saw it come down to the very end, an exciting battle to determine the podium finishing order and who would stand where. One driver extends his championship point lead. Another driver makes his voice even louder as he chases a 2020 championship and a seat in Indy Lights in 2021. And throughout the field, a whole lot of good, close, exciting, wheel-to-wheel oval track racing here in the Road to Indy. Folks, if you enjoyed the racing and you want to learn more, we suggest you check out roadtoindy.tv or download the Road to Indy TV on your smartphone. We've got it on iPhone, Android, the Singular Razor, whatever you've got, you can download Road to Indy TV. And we hope you do, as you get a chance to learn more about the #1 ladder system in North American open wheel racing. Folks, we are nearly ready to go here in Tatis Victory Lane. We're going to introduce you to the top 3, starting with 3rd, 2nd, and then making their way up to P1. Drivers gathering themselves alongside Victory Lane stage here in Tatis Victory Lane. We're going to introduce you to them 3, 2, and 1. But folks, one more time, if you enjoyed the action here today in Indy Pro 2000, the drivers are here. Make some noise. Get loud for them. Kicking things off, finishing in 3rd place here today for Yukos Racing. Please welcome driver in 3rd place, Artem Petrov. Artem Petrov, a race winner already here in 2020, scoring a podium finish on the oval here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Finishing in 2nd after a beautiful move on the outside through turns 3 and 4, coming to the checkered flag out of the state of Ohio for Exclusive Autosport. 2nd place, say hello to Braden Eves. The exclusive Autosport driver making a wild move on the outside, but it stuck, and it stuck perfectly. Eves comes home in second after a last lap battle with Artem Petrov. The driver scoring the victory here today in round 7 made his oval racing debut just 6 days ago in Indianapolis, Indiana. He learned a thing or two there, and he put it to test here as he scored the pole in qualifying. He'll win the race here today and extend his championship point lead. Ladies and gentlemen, from Andretti Autosport with Steinbrenner Racing, your winner, say hello to Devlin DeFrancesco! DeFrancesco's your winner. Braden Eves in second. Artem Petrov in third. Drivers' trophies up in the air. Folks, make some noise for your top 3 here today. Folks, these are the future stars, the NTT IndyCar Series, and they will make their way up to the top. The champion of this category will race in Indy Lights in 2021 as the drivers will now take off their Cooper Tires hats and they will celebrate once more. One more time, Artem Petrov in third, Braden Eves in second, DeFrancesco your winner. Folks, let him hear it one more time. Make some noise. And now we'd like to welcome in special guests of Allied Building Products, a key partner of the Road to Indy and Road to Indy Championship Racing here in 2020. Allied Building Products helping make Road to Indy racing happen. But Devlin DeFrancesco with the Yankees hat on, you recognize the name from Andretti Autosport with Steinbrenner Racing. The same very family, longtime owners of the New York Yankees, going in with Andretti Autosport to get Devlin DeFrancesco on track here in 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, let your top 3 hear it. Make some noise for Road to Indy Racing. Folks, that'll do it for round 7 here in the Indy Pro 2000 Championship presented by Cooper Tires. Drivers and teams will pack up and head to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in just a few short days as they take on the Grand Prix circuit. Folks, thanks for hanging out with us. Watch Road to Indy TV and enjoy the weekend here at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
It's me, your Uncle Cooper, and this is a Cooper tire. Great tire. Now, it's not going to cook you a pot roast, but it will stop when you hit the brakes. And these truck tires can stop on average 10 feet shorter than other tires on a wet road. See, the trick is in the grip, and these tires grip like my handshake. Look, I'm your uncle. I love you. I want you to stop when you need to. Doesn't matter if it's for a red light or a duckling. So go with the Coopers. Cooper! And never start something you can't stop.
With over 40 years in business, High Tide Boat Lifts is committed to elevating your craft. Whether you own a personal watercraft or a large yacht, we can design and create the perfect lift for your needs. At High Tide Boat Lifts, we understand that you've worked hard to get to a successful place in life. We'll ensure you have a hassle-free experience, maximizing the time you spend on your boat with family and friends, and supporting your dreams out on the open water.
Karting and motorsport enthusiasts, Lucas Oil School of Racing is America's #1 Formula Car race school. Enjoy modern paddle shifters, pit speed limiter, and onboard video along with integrated data systems. Get started today with our 2-day basic or advanced course. Lucas Oil School of Racing is the official school of the Road to Indy. We can also qualify you for your SCCA license. Get started today by visiting us at www.lucasraceschool.com.
Welcome to Road to Indy TV. Download the app to watch live and get access to exclusive content all season long.